Okay, when you look at this, it's just a square with the rounded corners on there. Circle at a 45 degree for the no, and then an arrow sign, the symbol that you can actually use. You don't have to build it from scratch. It makes it very easy. So just on this layer above this, we'll kind of put that together again. So here's the graphic of it. If you take the rounded rectangle tool, you can start with that one and see if you can use the arrows to increase or decrease with the shift key held down. Makes it a square. The thickness of the stroke, we'll just keep it at 1 point for starter. And it has a segment inside the line, so just going under Object, Path, and Offset the Path. The rulers are set to picas, so it's going to make it a little bit easier to see it. Whether you go on the inside or outside is fine, gives you that distance. And just to show it to you again, Object, Path, Offset the Path. Up into here, if you just keep the arrow key inside there, you can update it and see what's happening, whether you go to the inside or outside of that shape. Okay, this particular thickness I'm just going to increase for the part of the sign that's there. And I can also place it so that it goes to the center, goes to the inside or outside. You can select both of them, take the direct selection tool, and that'll allow you to adjust these corners at the same time. So they didn't look too bad, but they're together, so I'm just going to group it, and that'll get you so it'll build this up. If you make it any larger or smaller, just use the shift key. So I'll set that over to this side. For the circle on this one, just kind of placing it on there. So what I'll do is just keep this so you can still see it down below. And just take the ellipse tool. It has the smart guides telling you that it's going to be in the center, so I'll just deselect it and Option and shift it out there. And here I'm just going to kind of estimate that part of it, Command Shift to get the red line there. And then just in the stroke palette, increase this a little bit so it gets about the shape that you want. Take the line segment tool, and again, smart guides will line this up for you, so just shift key it down into the base, eye drop it, give it the red, and again, just select the circle. It'll tell you it's 16 points, so in the stroke, just go to 16. That'll give you that part. Shift key, group it, and as you rotate this, you just hold the shift key down and it'll stop at 45 degrees for that angle. Okay. And then the last part is just the arrow, so I'm just going to approximate this part here. Flip that over, take off the red fill. That's a good thickness to it. And then inside this section you have arrows that you can choose from. They make it pretty large, so coming down in here, just making this at 50%, highlighting that part. So that gives you that percentage, but you can always put it at 25, maybe try at 30. So you're getting that selection to it, so you can kind of see the extra part for it. You can try another one just to see what that looks like. And that gives you that distance for it. So the arrow is coming onto the side from it. You can switch it if you need to. It'll give you the gap to align it. So here it is aligned to the outside edge. So when you get to this side, just kind of coming up here. And here I'm just going to go to Object Path and outline the stroke. So now it's outlined. So I'm just going to move this up using the arrow keys. So it's equal. You're just using the background. And then Shift key to select this to get the widget that's in there. And that builds up that section. This is actually separate from this piece. So you can double click to get it into the isolation mode. Option Shift it so it breaks it in there. So now you have this particular piece that you can use the shape builder to build into that. And just place it down where it belongs here. Send it back one. Okay, so it's pretty simple, but just trying to use some of the fine tunes of Illustrator's section, just grouping this together. If you had the previous part, I'm just going to come over here to this stop sign. Take a couple of these, copy this, bring that back. Alright, this guy. And paste this down here. Just making that bolt that goes in there, which is nothing more than a circular piece with the gradient, and effect under stylize with a drop shadow. Just hit preview and you'll see a little bit of that section, and you can kind of see, if you put normal, you'll be able to see the image on it. There it is with the blurring section on it. And that gives you that piece right there. Okay. And then again, the sign itself, just to redo it a little bit for you. The rectangle tool. Fill this with the green. Here's the stroke.
There's
the stroke in there. Dashed line that it has. Section. This gives me the gap distance in between. And that's just a shape over the top. You're just making this outline that stroke. Select these two. It. And we just had the Pathfinder that makes that grid. And just taking this part, put that up there. So you can create the sign a little better.